lied in wait for the right moment to return to form. Plotting, hiding, absorbing all that they could to become what destinies brought forth to them. To review movies, some of them old ones that they both brought forth to each other and said, hey, wouldn't this be cool to kind of talk about on the podcast? And they agreed, like, yeah, it would be cool. Remember that part in Heat where Al Pacino screamed at that guy for watching his, quote, fucking television set? Yeah, that was pretty good. But anyhow, it would be destiny to lead the two hosts along the... What the hell happened to the music? Oh, I wasn't finished. Alright. Anyway, here's episode 24 of Bonus Features with Alex and Robert.
Alright, everybody. Welcome to episode 24 of Bonus Features with Alex and Robert. I'm Alex.
And I'm Robert.
And today we're going to discuss stuff. But first, our 2-minute pointless interlude about sports. So, Khalil Mack.
Khalil frickin' Mack.
So, you think he's going to be a difference maker, eh?
Well, I mean, we already had the 9th best defense in the NFL last year, and I mean, in addition to the Roquan Smith signing and a couple other ones, it's going to be a big deal, I think. I mean, the offense is still kind of who knows.
So that's my problem, is we can stack the defense all we want. Mm-hmm. I just think we need an offense to, meet them halfway there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's one of those situations where it's like, hey, Khalil, can you push back Aaron Rodgers like 25 yards on fourth down so that, fucking Mitch can just punch it in at like the 1 yard line? You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's not a big deal.
Like the 2006 Bears.
Like the 06 Bears, yes.
Except our offense is pretty good, man.
Yeah, we also
Thomas
had...
Jones was he wasn't amazing, but he was good.
And he should have played. He should have stayed in the game in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I still have his jersey.
And we had...
He had a lot of guys.
We had Moose, man.
You had Moose and Muhammad. You had a great special teams. You had Robbie Gould and Devin Hester.
And Mr. Clutch, Rasheed Davis.
Rasheed fucking Davis. Oh, man.
So that could happen. Let's see. Sports that I watched.
Any MMA news?
Nah. I mean, well, we got Till and Woodley. That's this weekend.
Yes.
And then the co-main event is Nico Montano and Valentina Shevchenko.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Call the doctor. Hide the children.
Yeah.
Put the children away.
That'd be my guess. I have no idea who's going to win the main event, though.
Yeah, me neither. I think it's pretty...
Because Till is just so much bigger than him, and he's...
Yeah.
he missed weight twice, and he's been complaining about this weight cut, but he promises he'll make it this time.
It's going to be a toss-up, I think.
Yeah. I think Woodley's obviously a better fighter, but when you have guys who are both that good and one's significantly bigger, you never know.
Well, we got also Mayweather-Khabib coming up.
Mayweather?
Or not Mayweather, McGregor-Khabib. Excuse me. Well, there's an interesting what-if. What do you think a Mayweather-Khabib fight would be like?
I think it'd be worse.
A UFC or boxing?
Oh, well, both?
Depend.
Well, because, Khabib would destroy him at UFC because of his grappling. He's a ridiculous grappler. Mm-hmm. He gets moves that should only work in regular wrestling all the time in the cage. You're like, how the hell did he manage a swing single?
Mm-hmm. So it's basically it's the same rule that applied with the Mayweather-McGregor fight, except...
And he'd get destroyed in a boxing match. So it's Mayweather, it's worse than Conor did.
It's the same rule of thumb with the Mayweather-McGregor fight, except the gap is even bigger. And on both sides.
Yeah, I guess I would say so.
Yeah, but anyway, excuse me, McGregor-Khabib fight. When is that coming up? In a couple
October 6th.
Oh, wow, Jesus, that's only 3 or 4 weeks away. That's the same, that's the same week as Venom.
Oh, wow.
That'll be an interesting week.
Sure will, Billy. Sure will.
Oh, man.
All right, so that does it for sports. Oh, yeah, hockey's in a month. Hooray!
Oh, Jesus.
I'm excited.
Are you really?
I mean, just for hockey to be back.
Oh,
fuck. Well,
for Blackhawks?
Okay, no, not for the Blackhawks. Not at all. You know what? I'm okay though. If we're gonna be bad for a couple years, we had such a good run.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not gonna be spoiled. We're gonna suck for a couple years. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, luckily we've already sucked for 1 year.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll cut off the amount of years we'll have to suck more.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know how that works, but sure.
I don't know. Sure. I'm just looking at
Hockey's
the glass.
weird, though. Like, things can just drastically change one year to the next.
Yeah, like they can add a whole fucking new team.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're like overnight.
Well, yeah, but it's like they can
They
add
just
a
called
whole.
up Las Vegas. So, you know that arena?
Yeah.
What if we put hockey boards in it?
They can add a whole fucking new team and like add like almost every best player.
Yeah, well,
In a way.
they also got help with draft pick, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
better than the alternative, where it's
Yeah.
like, I'd rather have it so you try to rig it so they win than rig it so they're just like the shittiest team on earth.
Or yeah, like the alternative would be like here's four shitty teams from like not great metropolitan areas and like not great TV markets, and let's just fucking see what happens.
Yeah. They're not like, you know where we need a team? Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Tulsa.
I'm going to go Cheyenne.
Cheyenne?
If I'm choosing another place, let's go Cheyenne.
Cheyenne? Just one?
We'll build a fan base there, you know. We'll really get on the marketing. You know?
Yes. Oh, God.
What is Cheyenne? Is that even...
Cheyenne, Wyoming. It's the capital.
Okay, so it's probably like for sure the biggest city. I don't know.
I bet it is. Do you know any other cities in Wyoming?
Absolutely none.
That's weird because I don't think I do either.
Wait. No, actually, no. I have no idea.
I know Montana.
Unless one of the national park. Isn't there a big national park in Wyoming? Am I a moron?
I don't know. Well, Yellowstone, is that in Wyoming?
See, this is what I'm
It's
saying.
there. It's in that region. Yellowstone in either Wyoming or Colorado.
Well, let's find out. This is killing me.
Yellowstone is in... hold that. Yeah, it is in Wyoming. It's actually in Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So
right.
Wyoming has to share. Sorry,
right.
Wyoming.
All right.
This isn't your claim to fame.
So when people aren't visiting Yellowstone, they can... or after they visit Yellowstone, they can make the drive to a hockey game.
Yes.
Are they anywhere near each other? No. Yes. No.
Probably.
I have no idea.
Maybe you put the hockey arena in Yellowstone.
No. This is a terrible idea. All right, so we've beat this conversation to death.
Yes.
With a wrench. So, moving right along, let's get to it, right into the news. So, we first start off with the new batch of images released for the upcoming Captain Marvel movie from Marvel Studios.
Yes.
So, we got a few photos, actually, more than I thought.
Yeah, good amount.
So, we get it. We had some set photos, but they didn't really show all too much. And again, you don't get the glossy finish of what the movie is going to look like when you get the set photos. So this time around, we got the cover of Entertainment Weekly, who released all the images. The first one is just her standing triumphantly in a superhero pose.
In all her glory.
Yeah, in all the red, blue, I almost said white. It's red, yellow, and blue.
Yeah.
And you got her, what was the other ones? So you had that. You had her with Star Force.
Yes.
In the green suit.
Yes.
So the alternative to the primary colors one.
Not the main suit, as many
Right.
people feared it would be.
And my favorite image is the beach shot of the Skrulls.
Yeah, they're like climbing up through the surf.
I love that. It's such a cool image. I love the way it's framed. I like the story it's telling. It's like that's a promo image, because a lot of promo images other times they're just kind of like, here's just a shot and it's just kind of blah and has the characters there. It's like I love thinking about where this is going based on that image.
Yeah, and there's some familiar faces in this as well. You have
Right.
Ronan the Accuser making an appearance in this. Korath, Jaimin Hansu's Korath, makes another appearance.
Right, and he's a member of Star Force, it looks like.
Yeah. Now,
Well, it's like this picture, it's Korath, Minerva, who I think is going to be a villain
Yeah.
at some point. Well, and so is Korath, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kind of.
And
He's-
Ronan.
Well, Ronan, obviously.
It looks like they're working with him here, sort of.
I can't tell if it looks like they're working with him or like getting him arrested or whatever. But
maybe.
Jude Law kind of looks like he might be like handcuffing him. Mm-hmm. And we've got a lot of good stuff here. And then, of course, we've got a Sam Jack.
I was going to say, that was the one image that really made me go, wow. Because that doesn't look like Sam Jackson now. And I can't tell if this is with
you
de-aging
mean-
stuff
yeah.
or if this is just good makeup. or what?
I don't know.
That looks like young Sam Jackson.
It very well could be both.
I think you're right.
I mean, either way, it's an amazing image. You're like, wow, that looks pretty real.
Yeah. And I like that this is also going to be, I guess they say that he's going to be described as he's described as a little bit more than a desk jockey, Right. So it's like an origin movie for both, well, maybe not an origin at all for Captain Marvel, as we'll say later, but an origin for Nick Fury.
Right. I think what's important, though, is the costumes look fantastic. And I would say, honestly, and I hate to use hyperbole, but these are some of the best costumes that I've seen in Marvel movies.
Well, I mean, as far as just the Captain Marvel costume, I mean, that's about as comic accurate I've seen a costume from the MCU since.
Well, I thought, the Iron Mans are always pretty solid.
Yeah, but there's so many iterations, and you're just like, this is the Mark 10, and blah, blah, blah.
I would say that the Captain America from Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he gets back into his old uniform. Right. So I guess, is that the same one from 1, or is it slightly different?
Was it 1, or was that the one from... I know what you mean. Yeah, I think that is the one from 1.
Like the classic red and white stripe with the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, of the costumes I can think of, it's one of the better looking ones.
But specifically with the Skrulls...
Yeah.
They look... very much like you see the image of them climbing up through the ocean. You're like, those are Skrulls. We're getting Skrulls in this, and that begs the question: secret invasion?
That seems like the logical step at some point. Yeah.
And then the logical question after that is, who's who?
Yeah, I don't know about those theories. Like
post-credit scene for Avengers 4. Anybody?
Yeah, probably. But it's just I keep hearing these asinine things like. Tony Stark could be a Skrull. It's
the whole time. If they do a thing where it's like he was a Skrull the whole time, and it's like one of the main 4 Avengers, I quit.
That would be as egregious as the ending of North. It was all a dream.
Oh man,
it's like you motherfuckers.
But like,
how dare you?
Just like exponentially worse because this is something that's been building. Because
this is not North. This is something good.
Oh my god, yeah. What a oh man.
I really don't think they'd bamboozle us like that.
No, I feel like it'll be someone ancillary, like, Maria Hill, or maybe not Maria Hill, but like or Agent 13.
Jasper Sitwell.
Jasper Sitwell, as we said, we were
Agent
talking about.
Agent 13 could actually possibly work.
Possibly. I mean, I've already seen an article. It's like, who could possibly be the Skrulls for Secret Invasion? It's like, I saw a bunch of stuff like Aunt May and all this shit. Wong from Doctor Strange. I'm like, yeah, it's possible.
Doctor Strange, also top-notch costume.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the other one where I'm like, that's Doctor Strange.
Like, the 3 where I'm like, yep, that's it right out of the pages.
Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange, Black Widow specifically in Iron Man 2, and this.
Yeah.
Well, and I'd also give it to Cap.
Yeah.
For the classic Cap.
Right.
That's seen in 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, but yeah, these images look fantastic, and I think
they're looking good, man.
The production design looks really, really sharp, and it's good to see a lot of those actors back from the movies we've seen prior.
That's actually something that kind of feels like it stands out a bit. Mm-hmm. Is this production design looks? I think it's different not only because it's in outer space and stuff. But we've had outer space stuff. There's something about this that looks more like this is its own movie and it just happens to be in the Marvel Universe.
Right.
So I don't know why I think that exactly other than it just looks really sharp.
Yeah, it looks really neat. And I'm excited to get a trailer for this eventually, hopefully by the end of the year, right?
Yeah. I think it's also just like the image of the Skrulls on the beach. It's just it looks more cinematographic.
Yeah.
I think that's part of what makes these look different.
It's very scenic.
Right. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. I couldn't put it together.
Yeah.
But these do all look very scenic. But I feel like we're getting a lot to work with here to kind of get a glimpse of how the movie is going to look.
Oh, yeah.
Because, one thing I've heard as a complaint about Marvel movies, and I sort of agree, to an extent is that sometimes they kind of have a like TV-ish generic look in terms of cinematography.
Right.
So this looks like it should hopefully be a break from that.
Nice.
So that's that. Captain Marvel images look pretty rad. If you'd like to check them out, just, I don't know, Google it.
Yeah,
Or
they're
just-
everywhere right now.
Yeah, or just any entertainment site. You got to take a look at these if you haven't seen them. All right, so that's that. Next story. Would you like to take us away?
We got a trailer for a movie coming out on Netflix called Hold the Dark. It's directed by Jeremy Saulnier, who directed Blue Ruin and Green Room. And it stars Jeffrey Wright, Alexander Skarsgård, Riley Keough, a couple other people. And it's about a gentleman who's brought in to help a woman find her son, who she believes to have been carried off by wolves in time for her husband coming back from the war, I guess.
Right.
And, well, I guess just starting off, Alex, you have more of a frame of reference here than I do. I haven't seen any Jeremy Saulnier movies.
See, that's the thing. I think this looks pretty good for the most part. However, I was a tiny bit underwhelmed just because I know what this guy's capable of. And Green Room was one of those trailers I saw, and I'm like immediately marching to the theater to go see it.
Right. This looks more subdued.
Yeah, this exactly. This looks a little less chaotic, which is, well, for a lot of it looks like there will be a lot more slower moments.
Yeah, it looks like
But
a slow burn.
Green Room just pretty much gets right into it. And because of that, I was really looking forward to whatever this guy's next project was, and I'm just a little underwhelmed. Partly because it looks like one of the main conflicts will be man versus nature, so the wolves. And that can be cool. It's just my problem. It's similar to with zombies. The reason I'm not a big fan of man versus nature conflicts is I like the conflict to involve thinking on both sides. And I know animals think, but not like fucking people thinking.
Right.
You know? So that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I feel similar, but I feel like the possibilities here are quite interesting because
That's true because of what it seems like what will happen, or at least what the trailers make it seem like, is the dad comes home and he's pissed that his son is dead.
Yeah, and it's like,
and then he's going to be at odds with the wolf hunter.
he's wearing people are wearing wolf masks and stuff, and it's like there's like cult imagery shit going on. I'm like, what's really going on?
Right.
Like, what is this about? You know?
But I don't know why I get the feeling like that could take it off the rails.
Oh man.
Because
That would be interesting.
It could. That's what I mean. Because what if it starts off like it's basically a man versus wolf, and then all of a sudden you just add cult shit. An hour and 15 minutes in,
Right.
It might feel like two different movies.
What would that third act feel like?
Yeah, and again, this is my thing. Is I feel like Netflix has kind of become an extended year-long January.
Yeah,
Studios or independents who just can't get distribution. They're like, fuck it, I guess we call Netflix.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if the Netflix distribution had anything to do with the sort of muted anticipation, but I think it definitely might. For a lot of people, not just you. I think it's like a lot of people look at the movies that have come out on Netflix recently and are just like,
That's what I'm saying. So I have mixed feelings about this, but again, because I might as well check it out, because I really enjoyed Green Room, but overall it looks like it's not as straightforward as Green Room.
Right.
That's I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with something that isn't super straightforward, but I just feel like for some reason this has the possibility to go off the rails. For instance, if the cult and the masks and all that weird shit just kind of appear seemingly too late. It might be a too little too late thing, but I'll have to wait and see.
Alrighty.
Okay, so moving on to our next story. Brendan Fraser strapping it up again.
Oh, man.
He's playing Robot Man in Doom Patrol, along with Alan Tudyk, who's cast as the villain, Mr. Nobody. And then this is kind of an interesting one. Timothy Dalton, former 007.
Former 007.
One of the forgotten ones.
Yes.
It's like when you go, who's the guy who wasn't the good one? George Lazenby? No, the other one. Timothy Dalton? Yeah, that guy. I mean, it's not really his fault. It was more the scripts.
I haven't seen either of his 2 Bond movies.
I've seen part of them on TV. Like, he's fine.
Yeah, I get that impression.
I'm just poking fun. Anyway, he is cast as the Chief.
Yes.
So he's basically the Doom Patrol's Professor X.
Almost literally.
Yeah.
Some would say.
He's
in a wheelchair.
He's in a wheelchair. He's a genius intellect, but he's an inventor, not a psychic.
Yeah.
So that's happening. Also, I should mention this because we didn't mention this last time. Doom Patrol and Titans are going to be linked in the same universe.
Yes, that was something that was under conjecture recently, but we are clearing that up now officially.
Yeah, officially.
Yes, they exist within each other.
Right. So, on a related note, while we're talking about Doom Patrol, the streaming service, DC Universe, does go live September 15th.
Nice.
With Titans premiering October 12th.
That is Batman Day, by the way.
September 15th?
Yes.
Makes sense.
Of course.
Might as well.
Which of these news stories, or which of these casting stories gets you going the most?
I'm going to say Brendan Fraser.
Oh, yeah?
I like The Mummy. And it's just, I saw it, like, Rotten Tomatoes, like, fuck off. Mummy's awesome. I'd say this is one of the best action-adventure movies you could possibly watch. Mm-hmm. And the second one's good, too. Didn't see the third one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And, of course, it has...
It's a Rob Cohen joint.
And let's not forget the greatest film of all time, which is spin-off Scorpion King.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad to see Brendan Fraser's on this series. I haven't seen him in anything in a while. I know he's on some TV show.
Yeah, he was on that show called Trust, which was not a remake. It was the story of All the Money in the World, the John Paul Getty kidnapping, but as a TV show. And Danny Boyle did it. I heard it wasn't very good, but Brendan Fraser plays the Mark Wahlberg character on that show.
Right. Anyway, so that's that. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
I'm excited about Alan Tudyk. That guy he's that guy. I mean, he's what's his name? Pirate, Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball. And he's been in so much stuff. He's even dipped his toe in the superhero TV show thing. Remember that show Powerless?
Oh, that show was awful.
It was not great, but he plays like fucking
complete dog shit.
He plays like fucking Bruce Wayne's like cousin.
His cousin, and it was totally forced. It was an awful premise and idea.
But let's see if we can get it right here. He's been in so much.
Wasn't he? Well,
he's K2SO.
K2SO. He's also wasn't he in Firefly? That's like one of his bigger claims to fame.
He was in Firefly. He was in A Knight's Tale. He's been in like every Disney animated flick recently, like at least as a cameo. He was King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff, and the dude cracks me up, and I'm glad he's going to be getting his, Mr. Nobody's a character I never really like.
Mr. Nobody's really weird, and that's actually something I'm kind of wondering is how the hell are they going to portray that on a TV budget and not make it look terrible?
Are they going to go the Smallville route and be like, this is Doomsday, and it's just a guy? It's a guy in a sweatshirt.
I feel like that's kind of what's going to end up happening is it's just going to be like him. He's going to have like a human form, you know? Yeah.
But he'll have a
similar to how Jennifer Lawrence,
Mystique
wanted to just ruin the movie and not look like Mystique. What? I'm sorry. Did I say it? Anyway.
We all know that Rebecca Romijn is the only Mystique.
Yeah, she's the real MVP, okay?
She is.
She wore that makeup, like a champ. And
she also was scary.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, she kind of freaked me out when I saw the X-Men movies. I was like, what's her deal?
Yeah, that's what it's like, well, Jennifer Lawrence is a better actress. It's like not playing Mystique, she isn't.
Mm-hmm. There are some roles that people are just born to play.
Yeah.
Rebecca Romijn is Mystique.
Yeah, dude, I agree. But seriously though, I'm a little like,
how are they gonna do that?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm really wondering I'm kind of left scratching my head how that's gonna look. I'm very curious.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Robot Man, I saw from the set photos, looks pretty good.
Oh, they have him. What does he look like?
He looks like Robot Man.
Nice.
Honestly,
start
from the set photos, they pretty much look completely on point with their comic book counterparts.
Okay, that's good.
Sure is, Billy. Sure is.
Oh man, second use of that reference.
No, I know. I just thought about that, but I don't care.
I'm kidding.
You know, you got to do it for McGarnacle.
You do. Oh man.
Alrighty.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah,
we have news on the Rambo 5 front. We have our director pretty much set in stone. I mean, it's reportedly.
What the fuck? I thought it was he's in.
Well, I mean, that says like he's reportedly in, so it's like, yeah, I guess he's in. But I mean, shit could happen. Could drop out.
I thought this was official.
Well, it's like it says it's official, but just in case it's not, you heard it here, and I put this loophole in place. So it's Adrian Grunberg, who directed Get the Gringo. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's a Mel Gibson flick.
I watched part of it on the TVs, and I thought it was a little boring, and I was kind of tired and fell asleep.
Ah.
I mean, if I'm just being honest, like, I'm not trying to just, like, shit on it. It was just, like, it wasn't that great.
Right. Yeah.
It kind of felt... Well, it's weird, too, is because Bloodfather, which... Did that come out, like, sort of within the same time span?
It's in a couple years at the most.
Yeah. It's like, it kind of felt like the way not as good version, from what I saw at least, of Bloodfather, which was amazing.
Yeah, Grunberg's also a second unit director for Narcos, a lot of episodes of Narcos, and he was the first AD on Jack Reacher Never Go Back and the show Sense8. So he's not, you know...
He also did some... was it either DP or second unit directing? He's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so he's...
For Apocalypto, which is, of course, Mel Gibson.
Oh, man.
Man on Fire. So...
He's been around.
He's definitely been around, so I think really that's all you need for someone to direct a Rambo movie. Mm-hmm. Someone who's been around sets with gunfights and crazy shit happening.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah, the plot is a little bit kind of still up for grabs, but we kind of have rumors about what it's about, right?
Yeah, but we'll just
about, like,
kind
of... the cartel or whatever.
Right, we'll wait and see if any of those turn out to be true. I'm just surprised Sly Stallone is still going.
He's still going, man. I'm gonna be shocked if there's not a... I mean, he wrote Creed 2. He has the official screenplay credit on that. I'll be shocked if there's not a fight scene with him in it.
Who knows? We'll have to wait and see for that too.
Maybe him and what's his name, Drago, will have one of those Rocky 2-esque, like, in the back room of the boxing hall fight, but not as friendly.
They should do the Rocky 5 again.
Yeah.
Where they're just surrounded by trucks.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway.
All right.
That truly is the Three Ninjas. What's the third one called?
Three Ninjas 3? That was a guess.
Knuckle Up.
Knuckle Up.
Truly is the Knuckle Up. Three Ninjas Knuckle Up of the Rocky series. Well, because, in Three Ninjas, they have the cool ninja suits in 1.
Right.
Then they got the even more rad ones in 2 when they're in Japan. And then 3, they're just wearing, like, their school clothes. And then I remember just being a little kid being like, what the hell is this?
Oh, man. That's
and
so
then,
sad.
then they made the 4th in true 90s kids movie fashion, had none of the original cast, and I'm pretty sure it was different characters or whatever.
Is that High Noon at Mega Mountain?
Yeah, it was so bad with Hulk Hogan and stuff.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Jim Varney's in that.
Well, what wasn't he in at that time?
Oh, man. You didn't know it was the 90s.
Those of you playing at home, name me a 90s children's movie that didn't have Jim Varney in. I dare you. Anywho, so Rambo 5 is happening, and I'm very excited because I really liked 4, so I'm willing to give this a shot too.
Yes. Let's see if this franchise still has life in it. Oh, God.
Well, as long as there's a country with bad guys doing bad shit, like, he'll find a way.
We got a Rambo plot.
It's like Myanmar, Azerbaijan,
Transnistria.
Dude, that should happen
Rambo
for
6.
Transnistria. That'd be amazing.
It would just be like, Johnny, I've got a new job for you. There's this new country. It's off the grid. It's called Transnistria. So, country full of people who don't want to recognize the UN.
Yeah, I know. Turned my stomach too. That's why I'm saying you're the best. Trained to kill, period. Anyway.
God damn.
So that's that with Rambo 5. And now we move on to our favorite punching bag, MoviePass. And in this edition, it's MoviePass 4, The Quest for Peace. And in The Quest for Peace, we find MoviePass in a time of struggle. That struggle includes Carl Schramm, who is one of the former executives who just resigned.
Oh.
And he resigned over what he said was concerns over management.
Are you sure that's all?
It kind of sounds like he's politely saying they were incompetent.
Politely saying, get me the fuck out of here now.
Yeah, he's like, I can't deal. And then on top of that, I mean, this was the bigger part of the story is as if like being a customer wasn't bad enough, as if people haven't been canceling left and right. They now have switched it so that the multi-year, Jesus Christ, skipping stories here. The people who have an annual pass are now being converted to the 3 movies a month plan, whether they like it or not. However, I think there's one loophole that I read somewhere where it's like if you bought it at Costco or you got it through a certain vendor, you could somehow have it honored for the rest of this year.
So, again, this sounds like one of those stories where it's like, of the list, the many, many notched list of fuck-ups that MoviePass has crafted for themselves. This isn't my highest, but it doesn't help. You know, it's another notch.
No,
it's like,
that's
this is
what I'm
another
saying.
fucking mistake. And I just...
Death
many
by 1,000 large cuts.
Yeah, how many fucking times do you think the top brass of this company has had the thought go through their head of maybe this was a bad idea for a company?
Well, that's part of my problem with these sort of
Or a business, you know what I mean?
This is my problem with the subscriptions in general.
Right.
And now I'm going to say this. I'm not just talking about just MoviePass. I'm saying all of them. I think the problem is there's all the theaters and stuff. They're trying to get people in into the movies. No matter what, just get asses in seats. But in doing so, there's no way that this is going to be the most profitable way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just right now it's just this huge morass. Like, there's so many more red tape things coming out where you're like, this on top of everything else now? This on top of the blackouts thing? Oh, wait, you're taking the blackouts thing back? Oh, wait, now you're converting our subscription? It's just everything. Like, as a consumer, I look at this and I say, confusion, no. It's just a simple fucking choice. And that sucks.
And that's what I'm wondering is what I'm trying to say is that subscription services suck.
Oh man, well that's what's going on the MoviePass front. We'll see you next on MoviePass 5 Genesis with a Y.
Anywho, moving on to our next story, Gravity Falls creator and director Alex Hirsch has signed a multi-year deal to develop some features and some series for Netflix. And off the bat, of course, Gravity Falls is an excellent series.
That's what I've heard.
And while it was short-lived, I think it was because he felt like he wanted it to have a pretty distinct ending.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, honestly. But,
Jesus.
I mean, his show stands out in a landscape where animation is starting to look worse on a lot of shows.
That seems consistent with everything I've heard.
Yeah.
That it's just an excellent show. I haven't watched a lot of it, though, sadly. It's like the one animated show I just don't tune in on. It was Disney XD?
Something like that,
I just don't. That's the one
Well,
channel I don't watch.
I know it's Disney, yeah. But in any event, it's good stuff, and I'm glad to see that Alex Hirsch is getting back to work. However, I'm a little worried that it's with Netflix, and I know I bitch about Netflix a lot, but this is in light of the fact that I recently have seen Disenchantment and watched 2 episodes of Paradise PD before I couldn't tolerate it anymore.
Oh, man.
Well, Disenchantment, that's Matt Groening, creator of Simpsons and Futurama.
Right.
And I hate saying this, but like Disenchantment sucked. It was so flat. Like, I honest to God, like, I didn't have a serious, like, good chuckle. Not even once. I had a couple, like, little a little smirk.
Right. So that sounds like a lot of what our concerns were from the trailer, is that we were worried it wasn't going to be very funny.
And it wasn't.
Right.
And then Paradise PD was about this. There was like 3 or 4 genuine laughs, and they were all in the trailer. Mm-hmm. But that show was also garbage. And I've sort of been noticing, like, I just really have not enjoyed Netflix's animation at all. Mm-hmm. There's that other show, Big Mouth, and it was just weird.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things.
Yeah, I was not a fan. Mm-hmm. So, if Matt Groening can have a show kind of be allowed to be sort of sterile or whatever, then how is Alex Hirsch going to fare in this?
Yeah.
I mean, haven't you noticed that Netflix shows have kind of, or the cartoons at least, have kind of, or animated shows have kind of sucked?
Well, it's interesting because, like, you mentioned the sterility of it, and I always I always hear about how Netflix is like that. They're that platform that's like, well, we don't have advertisers, so we don't have to worry about content and running time. So you have more freedom here. But in many ways, a lot of the Netflix shows, the animated shows I hear from you, they just feel very flat. They don't feel very much like they're doing much creatively. It feels like the people that are behind it are kind of shackled creatively in a way, you know?
Well, I think that might have to do with maybe a little oversight isn't bad.
Do you think
somebody, from like story editors, from I don't know. Like,
that's the weird thing about Netflix, man, is like their process is so fucking vague. So like the reason why their animation, it could be from why their animation is so not up to snuff. It's like it could be as a result of like maybe they have oversight too much, or maybe there could be too little. Like I have no idea what the process is for like a writer's room at a Netflix series. You know, are they super hands-on, or are the execs just kind of like, fuck it, go?
I feel like it's more the
latter.
The latter, because Matt Groening, he's like, yeah, we can do whatever we want. And this way, like the excuse I keep hearing from a lot of the people who are making these shows, it gives us the room to our stories to breathe. You mean to have 10 minutes of unnecessary filler that make the episode drag ass?
Right.
Great, yeah. Oh, yeah, thank God you don't have execs making sure the story's tight and has good pacing. Right. Heaven forbid.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be that, or maybe it is as simple as something you said, like having more people in your development department to just kind of iron out shit like that, read stuff and be like, oh, this is a good spec pilot, but it has this fucking major flaw in it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the idea. It's like I feel like that's the problem, is executives in general just have sort of a negative reputation for overreaching their oversight.
Right.
And we've seen that in movies. Like, from what we've heard about, at least, it sounds like that was the problem from day one with Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Giving a guy 6 weeks to write a script. Mm-hmm. Then, mashing it up and chopping it to bits.
Yeah.
That's 2.
It definitely seems like something's out of whack in that department. Well, I guess in the writing department, because I guess from what you've said, the animation itself on Disenchantment was very good.
That's the only thing that looked good. Was, I'll give credit where it's due. Disenchantment's animation was incredible. Mm-hmm. And you could tell it uses some of the newer like technology to create some shortcuts, but it's not the kind that make it look bad.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic. The artwork is amazing, and the backgrounds especially. I mean, you'd have to have good backgrounds for a fantasy show.
Well, at least I hope it's safe to say Alex Hirsch will bring that to this show. They'll probably look good.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is the problem is there seems to be a pattern with the animated series having severe problems with writing. Mm-hmm. And they're so easy to pick out. Like Paradise PD's problem is that it's overly crass without earning it. Mm-hmm. It's just like, boogers and like balls of shit and stuff, and it's like, where did this come from? Mm-hmm. It's just like set it up first.
Yeah, you got to have the long con of that kind of joke, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like with Carlin's thing, like 7 dirty words. Like, he gives you an explanation. He doesn't just...
There's a build-up.
He doesn't just spout out the words.
Right. Yeah, I get what you mean.
And it was so apparent in every episode, or in the 2 episodes I saw, and the characters were just, they just didn't make sense, because it's like 1 minute they're like psychotic and angry, and then the next they're trying to be like subdued and, calm and, more human about things.
So it's not written particularly well.
No, the characters were all over the place. It was really not good, which is extremely disappointing, because I remember watching the trailer and the 4 funny lines they had, and I'm like, all right, this could be funny.
Well, that sucks.
It just falls extremely flat, and again, I just don't think that Netflix is a great place for animators to take their projects right now.
It definitely seems that way, especially right now.
But everyone just clicks on it because,
Because Netflix.
Yeah, because Netflix. So, that's the nature of the game.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, there is good news on the streaming service, streaming of animated series service front.
Yeah?
We have classic Nicktoons and 90s Nickelodeon shows now available to be streamed on VRV's new channel called NickSplat. So this is going to have a rotating selection of 30 series of Nickelodeon's most popular shows. It includes all the frickin' favorites. All That, Our Real Monsters, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Cat Dog, Doug, Rocko's Modern Life.
Clarissa Explains It All, Hidden Temple.
Wild Thornberry is my personal favorite.
Yeah.
Angry Beavers. I mean, it's $9.90, or wait, let's see. Oh yeah, NickSplat will be available to purchase a la carte, so just that, $5.99 a month.
Okay, that's weird because I didn't realize it was a la carte.
Yeah, but it will be included in the VRV premium bundle for $9.99 per month.
Okay, so if you bought the premium bundle,
you get all the VRV stuff plus NickSplat, but you can buy just NickSplat for $4 less.
See, I kind of like, that's something that's weird, is like VRV, I've kind of been hot on its trail for a while, because I've been kind of interested to see more things like it start to exist, because I like what they're doing. Because what are people's biggest complaints about cable? Well, I don't need this, and this channel.
Right.
This is like, you're getting a bunch of content at once, so it makes a lot more sense to me than, let's say, like the DC Universe app, which I'm sort of, a little skeptical about.
Yeah.
This makes a little more sense because you get so much on it already.
Right.
Because there's all the, like, anime channel with, like, Crunchyroll and, like, what is it? Funimation?
Yeah.
Yeah, Funimation, Crunchyroll, and a bunch of other stuff like Nerdist, which I think has, like, reality shows and interviews and stuff.
Right.
And there's a couple other things that hold older series, like, I know that Stargate, one of the Stargate series is on there.
Right.
So you're getting a lot more content at once. And to me, that makes a lot more sense.
Shudder, another one.
Yeah, Shudder. That's a really
Horror.
good one.
Yeah.
So to me, it makes a lot more sense to get a bunch of things all at once instead of, as we said, completely fragmented media.
Well, that...
Because I know that that's going to happen regardless,
right,
because certain shows are Netflix exclusives. But this way, let's say you spend, like, after you get all your different services, HBO Go, Netflix, and let's say this, it ends up being whatever amount of money, rather than you going all over the place and then having it all add up to, like $150 a month or something crazy like that.
I think this is a masterstroke move on the part of VRV, because the nostalgia movement is at a peak right now. It's really, really up there. And also, this just makes, again, this is like, MoviePass, take notes. It's like, you want to pay for a product you already know you like. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, oh, I'll watch Disenchantment. Maybe that'll be good. It's like, I want to watch the entire run of Cat Dog. I love that show as a child. It's like, you already know you're going to like the show. Why would you not pony up $6 a month to watch that and all these other fucking shows you grew up with? It's a brilliant fucking move, in my opinion. I think it's just, it's like, wow, I'm shocked no one has done this yet. I'm shocked Netflix didn't do this yet. I know they've done it with some Nick shows.
Yeah.
But I'm shocked that they haven't done it with the Nick brand. Like, we have a Nick,
Oh, see, I was just thinking about that the other day. like a Nickelodeon streaming service.
Right.
But this is even better because I like how it's giving you options. It's like, or because think about it this way, you're really, it's a win-win because you could have someone who already has VRV, or I believe it's actually called Verve.
Yeah.
According to the panel I attended.
I always called it VRV, but
Whatever, I call it VRV too because I don't know. Anyway, what the fuck was I saying?
or Vriv if you want to get
Vriv. Okay, I was saying how you could be someone who already has it, and then this just appears, right?
This just sweetens the deal.
Yeah, this just sweetens the deal. Or you think, no, I'm just going to get the Nicktoons, but then let's say you're really into horror movies. Whoa, what's this? Shudder? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
And then you could get customers to get to pay for the $9.99 instead of the $5.99.
Yeah.
So it seems like a better way to do things. Give people options that make sense.
I actually found a list of the premium bundle for channels that they have: Crunchyroll, Funimation, Shudder, Drama Fever, which I think is that Korean dramas? Is that like soap opera type stuff?
Whatever.
Nerdist, Mondo, and Rooster Teeth.
Which I'm not like huge on Rooster Teeth, but I know they're
They have a lot
immensely
of
popular right now.
They have a lot of content.
Yeah.
And that's the thing here is like they have a VRV, Verve, or Vriv.
Yeah.
They have a huge library here that is exclusive.
Right.
That's something that's really interesting.
And that's what I'm saying. That's how it should be done. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna try and sell something, have a huge library.
Yes, like I would imagine a lot of the stuff you find on Drama Fever, or like a lot of the really fucking bad movies you find on Shudder. Like by bad, I mean like low budge horror and like really not good. Probably wouldn't find on Netflix unless it was available for DVD purchase,
Right.
or rental. You know what I mean? So it's a interesting alternative.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why I like whatever the hell they're called. I'm gonna call them. Yeah. That's what I like about Motorcycle Sound.
Yes,
is that I think they're really kind of at the forefront of what I think the future is, because I understand that cable eventually is not going to be whatever it will be in the future, or whatever, and that things are going, the direction is going towards streaming. But like Netflix, it should be done in a way that makes sense and offers people a good deal.
yeah, and it's sounding like VRV or Verve or Motorcycle Sound or Vriv. They're taking the nuanced approach, and from what I've seen, it seems pretty enticing.
Yeah, so I'm pretty interested in this, and I may end up being a Verve customer.
Interesting.
Possibly.
We'll see.
What about you?
I might. I kind of
You
already
might-
sort of have been. I was a Harmon Quest fan, so like for the second season of Harmon Quest were exclusively a VRV or Verve
Yeah.
thing. So I like had that, and I ended up watching a little bit, but I canceled.
Oh,
But
okay.
I might go back.
Yeah. I mean, if you were between this and DC Universe, what would you choose?
This. It's just because there's so much stuff on there.
But I'm just so damn curious about Titans.
Well, Titans, and also like there's so much other stuff on DC Universe where I'm like, the fuck with the comics? Like, how are you gonna do that? How many comics?
Yeah.
Like, how is it gonna be organized? I'm very curious about, and that's the thing is, I'm curious about DC Universe. I know I'm gonna like a lot of the content on VRV,
Right.
or NickSplat, you know.
And it's not like the thing you say, it's interesting you say about the comics. It's not like the DC where you think, okay, so they're going to have the animated movies. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how the hell many there are. There's a bunch, though. I have a pretty good estimate. It's like 30 something.
Right. It's like a game show. It's like, do you go with the sure thing, the sure prize that you've already won, or do you go with the mystery door?
Yeah.
And you risk it, or do you want to win a?
It's like, yeah, there's like thousands of comic issues. It's like, who the hell knows which ones they're gonna have?
Yeah, I'm hoping that mystery door that is DC Universe isn't like a fucking bag of Swedish fish or some bullshit.
You know what they're doing though to ensure that people don't cancel after the first month?
What's that?
Titans is a weekly show.
There you go. See, now that's interesting because I've heard of the practice of people literally just binging, or like back in the day, like when they binge watching first became a thing, like people would do the Netflix free trial for a day.
Yeah.
And it would be the day that like House of Cards premiered, just because they wanted to keep up.
Right.
So it's like,
So I get that they're trying to close loopholes.
Yeah.
But I also don't like it because I'm weary.
God.
So, everyone, keep an eye out for more news from Verve, or you could just go sign up now if you feel like it.
Yeah, NickSplat is live.
Is it?
It is. It
right.
started the 28th of August.
All right, there you go. NickSplat's live. Go for it. Like your Nicktoons and all that stuff, go for it. Now we move on to some speed round news. We don't really have much to say about these, but they're just some headlines we thought we'd share with you. First up, Henry Cavill is cast as Geralt of Rivia for Netflix's The Witcher, based on the books and the video game series. It'll be 8 episodes, and as of yet, it has no release date.
Big Bang Theory's upcoming 12th season will in fact be its last. Jim Parsons did not want to come back, despite lucrative offers from CBS. The show holds the record of longest-running multi-camera series.
Fantastic Fest has announced its second wave of lineup to include Halloween, Feral, Hold the Dark, Donnybrook, and others. If you'd like to learn more about Fantastic Fest, go to fantasticfest.com and you can see some interesting promo material for some genre movies, horror, thriller, comedy, drama, all kinds of things. So check out Fantastic Fest.
Polish actor Rafał Zawierucha has been cast as Roman Polanski, and Damon Harriman has been cast as Charles Manson in Quentin Tarantino's upcoming film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Damon Harriman, of course, is known for Justified. At least
yes.
That's what I think he's known for. And Rafał Zawierucha, is that how you say it?
I just said Zawierucha. I don't know.
Zawierucha, whatever his name is. Sorry if I'm butchering it. He's a Polish actor. I think this is his first American movie.
Yes.
All right. And then, finally for Speed Round, Disney's streaming service, while on the topic of streaming services, of course, is going to be called Disney Play. Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, said it's their biggest priority for 2019. Also, it was reported that once Disney and Fox finish the deal, which is expected to go through its final stages in summer of 2019, the subsequent fall will include Fox's IPs on the streaming service. So there you have it. That's the speed round. That's the news. And that's the rest of the story. All right, so now we move on to the review section. I saw a feature film a week or two ago. It was called Mile 22.
Okay.
You didn't see it yet.
I did not, but I had intentions of seeing him. I'm a big Peter Berg fan, and I know you sort of also are.
I'm also sort of a huge Peter Berg fan. Yes. It's weird. It's like the ones I've seen from him I love, but it's just like, it's recent for me. You know?
Right.
I'm jumping on the bandwagon, if you will. Anyway, because of that, and because of, obviously, it's starring Iko Uwais, Ronda Rousey, and the legend among legends, John Malkovich.
Oh, man, yeah.
I was, of course, very interested in this flick. And it is about a double agent who's going against the Indonesian government by bringing some information to, what the hell are they called?
CIA?
It's like a ground force. Is that their name?
Overwatch? Oh, no. Ground Branch of Special Activities Division.
All right, so this guy who's a spy he's a former police officer played by Iko Uwais. Lee Noor, is that his name?
Yes.
Okay.
Good pull.
Damn, I don't know how I remembered that.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Anyway, he strolls up, says he's got a disc that's encrypted, and he says he'll only, decrypt it if he is guaranteed safety to leave the country. And of course, it is 22 miles between the air base and where they are at their little hideout at was it Ground Branch?
Ground
Branch. So, of course, chaos ensues involving Russian hackers, the Indonesian gangsters, Indonesian government, and assassins, and so on and so forth. So, mayhem ensues. Now, right off the bat, this movie starts off pretty standard. Not really, like, blowing my mind, but it's pretty good. And then, later on, the action starts to change, and there's plot. There's stuff from the beginning that comes back way later, or at least you kind of forget what the connection is. You're like, what's going on with these guys? You're like, huh? You're like, oh yeah, I guess they were at the beginning. Oh well. So again, once this movie takes its turn, it goes to what the fucksville pretty fast. So without fucking, do you care? Spoilers?
No, I'd go nuts, if you will.
All right. I'll give a very, very brief non-spoilers, and then I'll just kind of just dive into it.
Sure.
So, without saying too much, it starts off as a pretty standard action movie, and it's fine. There are some, slightly glaring issues, though. One being the editing. Now, I don't want to bring up this movie and say it's anywhere near as jarring, but Columbiana came to mind.
Ooh.
Where it looked like really good choreographed fight scenes.
Okay.
But just sort of, what's the word? Like chaotically shot and edited.
Okay. And
it made it kind of hard to follow the action. And with someone who's as athletically capable as Iko Uwais, like, why would you butcher such good choreography that way? Again, you can still tell the fight scenes are pretty good, but it kind of reminds me of like you're at a concert and you know everything on stage is really awesome and you're just like sort of peering through heads and hands and shit. Like you can't really see, but like, you know, it's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of had that feeling there. And the ending, the third act, man, does it gets really weird, and the way they leave it off is almost like a to be continued, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell do you think you're doing? You didn't earn this. This is the first in this series.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Did you know that this is intended to be a starting point for a multimedia series?
You know what? That makes sense, because TV fight scenes are usually edited more poorly. Of course, with the exceptions being like things on Netflix, which I know I bash, but like the Daredevil fight scenes are amazing.
Right. So
they're shot competently.
There are plans for a sequel. Sequel plans are in early development, but after its release, STX Surreal announced that they will produce a short-term live-action web series called The Kiev Exchange. The series will follow the CIA's elusive paramilitary force Ground Branch as they negotiate a tense and complex hostage exchange in public square. Berg will return to direct, and it's expected to release sometime in 2018.
Mark Wahlberg, is he coming back?
It doesn't say. I'd imagine, well...
Oh, that's the other thing.
I don't know.
I gotta talk about his character.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so most of the characters are okay. Mm-hmm. Ronda Rousey doesn't get to do much, unfortunately.
Unfortunately? Oh, you mean like fighting-wise?
Fighting-wise, no. Her acting is like...
I meant like talking-wise. I'm like, oh...
She doesn't say much, but...
Okay.
I mean... Mark Wahlberg's character is so intensely annoying that it really turned off a lot of people from the beginning. But since I can kind of roll with like ridiculous if I'm entertained, even if it's bad, and I'm entertained, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll roll with this character.
Like Michael Douglas in Black Rain.
Yeah, I would say that, but like way worse. Because Michael Douglas in Black Rain, you're like, he's a little too intense right now. Mm-hmm. This is like Mark Wahlberg's character in this. Way too intense.
You would say he has, quote, no chill.
I don't use those stupid internet phrases. Fuck that. But yes. No chill. Dude, this movie wasn't lit. Derp doop doo. Anyway. Now you got me all intense.
Now I got you without chill.
Yeah. Why I oughta. Yeah. For those who didn't see, we did the old man fist shake.
Yeah.
It kind of helps tie the picture together. Anyway, so his character is a little too intense, but you roll with... Again, I was willing to roll with it.
Okay.
But then when when the pieces start to fall together, where I'm like, all right, the editing's not so great, but like I'm still going with it. All right, spoiler time. You killed like half the team, including Ronda Rousey's character. What the fuck? Okay. I'll still roll with it. And then all of a sudden the third act comes, and does it get crazy? First of all, when they're getting to the plane, all he does to kill the final bad guy is calls in a drone strike.
Nice.
No, that's lame.
America. Fuck.
Basically. No, but it's just like, it's so anticlimactic. It's like, you could have done anything.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Like, pointless raining fight scene.
Oh, man.
Like something. I don't know, like, oh, well, it looks like we fell down this cliff, and if we fall any further, we'll both die, but there happens to be two knives. To both grab one, like,
two tomahawks from an ancient Native American burial site nearby.
Something. Fuck. It's just like, oh no, he's blocking our way. Oh, by the way, bloop, done. Reach the plane. Now, the twist comes, and you're like, what in the fuck? So there's a part, sort of towards like the middle-ish, where they all get hacked by the Russians. And you forget that at the beginning they take out a team of or at least I forgot, the cold open, if you will, is they take out a team of Russians. And it turns out, like, the whole time it was the Russians, and that Iko Uwais was a triple agent.
Oh.
So, yeah. So it's like...
Interesting move.
The thing he decrypt... Oh, no, because he says, like, tell Mother I said hi when when he gets on the plane, which is his way out of the country.
Okay.
But it turns out he's like, well, how the hell does he know that? Because Mother is John Malkovich's code name.
Okay.
So then all the Russians storm John Malkovich's like little hideout place, kill John Malkovich's character. I'm like, now I'm really not interested. You kill Ronda Rousey character, you kill John Malkovich's character, and then essentially like it's like flat out like you lose. And then there's like a Mark Wahlberg thing. He's like, till next time, and it's like the credits roll. I'm like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? You can't just be like, oh, we know that you love this so much that we'll leave it on a cliffhanger.
So it sounds like a lot of the issues that Infinity War had with the ending, but even worse.
Except it didn't have a decade of movies to gain like
anything.
To earn it. Exactly. It's like, you know what? You've earned it. I don't know if I would have ended it that exact same way, but you earned it. Plain and simple.
There's something loaded into that emotionally. It just sounds very hollow.
It's like you just, you know what it is? A lot like Infinity War. Killed half the characters.
Yeah, no.
The bad guy technically wins.
Oh, man.
Pretty clear that it's going to be a multi-part thing.
Multimedia
story. Jesus Christ.
Where's the Netflix series for this show coming out?
But it's so ridiculous. It's like, oh yeah, also Laura Cohen dies because I think Lee Noir, he decrypts the hard drive and I guess it's a bomb and it like blows up the plane. And I guess it does kind of explain like why it's done in the noir style, because this is so in the back of your mind while you're watching it, but it is supposedly like from a like third person, like, here's what happened.
From whose perspective?
Or sorry, from Marky Mark is like talking with his like bosses.
Oh, it's like an after action report type deal?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
debriefing.
Like past tense, like debriefing. So they cut back and forth between the present and
what happened. Oh, but it doesn't exactly work, is what you're saying.
Well, no, it's not that it doesn't work. It's just like, I guess that explains why it ends the way it does.
Oh, okay.
I see what you mean. Because, like, if it didn't do that and it's like, to be continued, it's like, so the game goes up. He says something weird, like, what the fuck does he say? It's something, like, not that bad. It's like, so the hunt goes forth more. Like, something weird. But to me, I was just kind of blown away at, like, how much I was, like, kind of enjoying it, and then how much it, like, really, like, nosedived.
Well, I got a couple questions. Well, maybe one question, really. How were the action scenes? Because I heard mixed things. I heard they were indecipherable.
I wouldn't say they're all the way indecipherable, but it's just, like, irritating. It's like, it's like I said, it's like, I know what I'm seeing is cool, but it'd be even better if it was shot well.
Right.
You know, it's just disappointing, and I don't really know that Peter Berg has much experience with hand-to-hand fight scenes.
Yeah, not to my knowledge. I mean, he did like the super-powered fight shit from Hancock.
Oh,
but other than that,
I
it's
never
like,
saw it.
I mean, he's great with shootouts.
Yeah,
you know?
obviously.
I mean, the whole second act of Lone Survivor is a shootout.
Basically.
The Kingdom has a great shootout in it, from what you said.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
It actually compares to a lot of movies we've been talking about and that we're going to talk about.
So were the shootouts in this any good?
Yeah, I thought the shootouts were actually really good. Mm-hmm. Those are the best action scene. And again, it's just a shame to sort of waste waste like this. This is the second time there has been I've had.
You've had a bone to pick with an eco-waste role.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say it's a. What's the word? It's I had this would be my second grievance filed. Not as bad as Star Wars, where it's like, hey, guy who's like the best living film fight choreographer ever, or at least like alive.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, like working right now, up and coming young guy. Do you want to be in our Star Wars movie? Yeah, okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to stand there, do nothing, have no lines, and get thrown around by a monster, so fuck it, who cares? Who thought of that? Blows my mind. I bet you if I was to be like, oh, he was the guy in Star Wars, like, which one? The guy who gets thrown around? Oh, which one? I still don't know what you're talking. It's like, his part was so insignificant.
Right.
And so, Yahya Ruhian, oh my God, at least they let him talk.
Maybe he'll have more to do in John Wick Part 3.
Oh shit, he's in that, isn't he?
Yeah, he got cast.
Yahya Ruhian?
Yeah.
Man, if only Eco was there for the ride.
Yeah, well, we got that ninja show coming out from Eco, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like Ninja something. We talked about it.
Whatever, man. It's like, if he's on it, like let's see it. Where's that out? Is that Netflix? All right, so I'll for sure check that out.
Woo Assassins is what
Woo
it's called,
Assassins.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good shit. Hopefully.
Yeah.
When's that out?
Doesn't say, but it's in production.
Oh, it's in production.
Yeah.
But I want it now.
Oh, Catherine Winnick's on it.
Oh, she is nice.
Yeah.
Of course, she should be in a certain DC role.
She should
as
be
we
Black
know.
Canary.
As we know.
But we'll allow it.
Well,
even
yeah.
though time is a factor here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was also in Vikings. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
man. She's been in a lot of stuff. She was in one of your favorite movies. She was in a certain Hellraiser, remember?
Barferific.
With Henry Cavill.
With Henry Cavill.
Of all people.
Unbelievable. You know what? I might revisit that one just for shits and giggles this October.
Oh, man.
But anyway, back to Mile 22.
Yeah, anyway. Sounds
the
like
shootout scenes were fine. It's
Right.
just the hand-to-hand fighting. It's like the reason you use shaky cam and like fast cuts is usually to hide the fact that like
It's
you
not
hired
choreographed.
some like shitty stunt
Yeah.
people, or like the actor is just not good at the moves.
Yeah.
Or because you just want to make it look intense because you're
Right.
Paul Greengrass.
Yeah, and it's like the opposite with Paul Greengrass. It's like, no, I know these fight
Yes.
scenes are choreographed well. So like, can you just keep a little bit steady?
It was almost the exact same thing here.
Yeah.
Or if not more. These fight scenes, they have eco wastes.
Yeah.
They're probably better. I'd have to compare the two, or I'd have to watch the Bourne movies again to really compare, but there's certain fight scenes that are definitely better and shot kind of poorly. The one where Iko Uwais is escaping from the medical room,
Yeah.
that was by far the best part of the movie.
The shut up and take my money moment.
Yeah.
In the trailer.
Yeah, when he does the backflip off the wall. Right. Awesome. And that is actually not shot as poorly as the other parts.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say it's, what was the word people are using?
Indecipherable.
Indecipherable is a bit harsh. I would say,
It's no Doobie White.
no, it's
joint.
no. That to me, when people say indecipherable, that's what I would say. It was jarring.
Okay.
Like, I would say it's
Disorienting?
disorienting. Yes.
Okay, yeah. I get you.
So I had a problem with that, but the gunfights were all awesome.
Okay. But it sounds like overall this was a bit of a disappointment.
It was a huge disappointment because it's like, wow, so this is why people don't make original movies anymore, because they all end up sucking ass.
Right.
It's just irritating. By the way, STX sucks. I've noticed a pattern. They suck ass. Like, I usually don't, like, try to bash the studio, but fuck them. They make bad... They had one good movie. They had The Gift, and it was amazing.
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
I think that was, like, their first or second movie.
That might have been their first, now that you mention it. I think that might have been their
first. They've had, like, 2 or 3 good movies since, and a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, man.
So, you know what? I've just about fucking had it with them.
They've had a lot of close calls, like movies where I'm like, that looks like it could be good and isn't.
No,
you know, like,
this was not great. So
no.
I would give this... I might be being too generous here. I really might be. Mm-hmm. I'd give it just because there were genuine... Like, it's watchable, even though it has problems, and lots of them. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. That's my score.
All right.
So there you have it. Review for Mile 22. And now it's time for another edition of a From the Vault review. This time around, we're looking at the 1995 hit classic film, Heat. Now, this is one you had actually suggested to me.
In our public shaming segment.
Yeah, so I thought about that, and I'm like, man, I gotta watch this. It was on Netflix, so why shouldn't I see it? A glowing review from you, and the fact that I'm sort of, I'm not really a Michael Mann expert at all. Mm-hmm. Or rather, I'm not really familiar with Michael Mann would be the better way to describe it. And I saw Collateral, I really liked this. And I saw this, and I thought it was also very excellent.
Oh, yeah.
So when was the last time you saw this?
I saw this probably last year. I showed it to Abby. She wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I understood why. She said it felt too much like a mini-series that wasn't. Okay,
so let's right off the bat get into that. Mm-hmm. So just in the opening, I would say like 10 minutes, when you're getting to know all your characters, there's a lot of them.
Oh, yes. Very many.
And you get the idea that this is sort of a large world, and it almost felt like a TV series. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the weird things I noticed about it. Despite its nearly 3-hour running time, mm-hmm. the thing that I noticed is this is totally watchable. It didn't feel like 3 hours. It just kind of felt like 3 or 4 episodes of a series.
See, that's what I thought too. It's very engrossing. The world is very fleshed out, and it feels real. There's like small kind of ancillary characters everywhere that people have to consult with, and every character has their own life. They have their own fucking set of problems they have to deal with. It's really, I thought it was really well done. Did you know that this is a remake by Mann of an unproduced television series that he'd worked on, the pilot of which was released actually as a TV movie called L.A. Takedown in 1989.
No way, really?
Yeah, and that was supposed to kick off like a mini-series type TV show, but it didn't go, so they just released it as a TV movie. And it's the same plot. It's about a cop named Vincent Hanna who is going after a professional robber with an Irish last name. It's not Neil McCauley, but the guy's name is Patrick McLaren. Michael Rooker was in it. Michael Mann wrote and directed it. So this is something that's been in the oven for a long time for him. And I guess he just figured in 1995, you know what, fuck it, let's do it as a movie because that's the only format right now that matters. Interesting what if. What if this idea had come about now?
Would there be unnecessary filler to make sure it drags?
Probably.
Okay, so I don't know if I'd... Well, who knows? Maybe
interesting to think about.
That is interesting to think about. I think maybe it was... Is it maybe that it was too ambitious to make a TV series?
Maybe.
Because back in the day, like back at that time, TV series were not... Like the budgets, I don't know if they'd be able to handle this.
No.
Especially not the star power. That's one thing right off the bat. This cast is insane.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And I know it's 95, and some of these people were, I guess, lesser known at the time, or maybe weren't as huge as they are now. But certainly Al Pacino was a big star at the time. Obviously, Robert De Niro has been a star for most of his career.
Dude, there's so many 90s people in this. You got freaking Al Pacino, De Niro, Val Kilmer, Ashley Judd, Tom Sizemore, Mykelti Williamson, Bubba himself, Ted Levine, Dennis Haysbert, William Fichtner, Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Which always kills me because it was like one of his first roles. His character's name is Trejo.
Really?
Yeah. You got a young Natalie Portman in this.
Yeah, she's like 13.
Yeah, and it's like, there's a lot of like really small.
It was weird as I'm like, that looks like her, but that doesn't sound like her.
Right.
Because what is she, 13, 14 maybe?
Right around there. I mean, 95.
Yeah, because that'd be not too soon after.
Yeah, 14.
Because Leon the Professional is when?
94, the year before.
Okay, so again, not too far from that.
No.
So right away I noticed the cast, which helps an awful lot.
Right.
With the cast that size, that's that good. This movie in a weird way reminded me of, it was like an Infinity War of crime movie people.
Yeah, man.
It's just such a large, expansive world. And it's interesting, I think you and I had talked about this earlier. It reminded me a whole hell of a lot of another movie I saw this year, Den of Thieves.
Yes.
There's a lot in common with it. There's the bad guy crew, the good guy crew. Like, there's two huge crews, or in each movie, respectively, a crack team of expert, career criminal, like bank robber type guys,
right,
and then some cops who,
Hard boiled. Sometimes they don't follow the law.
Yeah, they don't play by anyone else's rules, and if you
Right.
don't like it, you can just move along. But on top of that, there's the cat and mouse thing.
Yeah, and
That's something I really enjoyed about this movie, like from the get-go, is, I'm a big fan of when the good guy and the bad guy meet face to face.
Oh, and this is like the epitome of that.
This is really probably one of the best examples. So I guess for those of you who haven't seen it, would you like to give them a brief synopsis?
I will give you the written synopsis because I'm lazy.
Okay.
So, Robert De Niro plays Neil McCulley, a professional thief, while Pacino plays Lieutenant Vincent Hanna, a LAPD robbery homicide detective tracking down McCulley's crew. The story is in part based on the former Chicago Police Department officer named Chuck Adamson and his pursuit of the 1960s criminal who also went by the name McCulley, after whom, of course, De Niro's character is based. As we mentioned, it's a remake of LA Takedown, but more importantly, it's a cat and mouse game. De Niro's crew is trying to set up a real big robbery, and Pacino's crew is trying to, first of all, identify who he is, De Niro is, and stop it. And
So it's relatively straightforward, but it's not.
no, there's a lot going on.
Well, I think one of the biggest themes in this movie is separating your career from your personal life. And in in a lot of instances in this movie, for De Niro, for Pacino's character, they really can't do that. And then there's like the sleazeballs, like what's his name, like Wayne something?
Wayne Grohl?
Wayne Grohl, like he's just like the biggest shitbag of them all.
Yeah, like a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like a fucking serial killer, basically.
So like even the criminals don't like him.
Yeah, no.
That's a guy who no one wants.
One of my favorite lines is when they're in the fucking diner, and then like right about when they're about to leave, and they're like, "We're gonna shoot," and like De Niro's like, "We're gonna shoot this motherfucker right here," and they drag him out in the parking lot to kill him.
Yeah,
and then the fucking cop car drives by, and you're like, "Oh."
See, that's what I liked.
Solved the whole movie.
That's what I liked about this movie, though. Is like, it wasn't like a just flat out action movie. Because if it was like a B action movie, he would have just shot him in the parking lot.
Right.
Or like, when Pacino confronts him in the restaurant, there would have been a weird, like, crazy table flipping,
moment.
Like, moment, and like he would have like killed him or arrested him right then and there. And again, I can go either way on those.
Right.
But I'm starting to dig the Michael Mann style the more I watch his movies, you know?
I think this is the best of his. It's the mastery of like his work, in that it's like he's all about subtlety in terms of character, and it's like subtlety sometimes to a fault. I think there are certain characters in other movies where it's like, I'm not really getting much from this guy, but I think it's like the front-loaded actors. You cast Pacino in a role, you cast De Niro in a role, you already come in with preconceived notions of who they are, so there's already built-in character work. But you throw stuff on top of that, like the shit I liked was like the fact that they're like the best at what they both do. like Vincent Hanna is just like a super fucking smart cop. Like that scene where he's breaking down the Brinks truck robbery.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just like, you know, and the way that like fucking De Niro's like reading a book about metals. So like, like about the burning temperature of like certain kinds of steel and shit. And it's just like, these guys are the best at what they do to a fault. It's like they have no fucking life otherwise.
Yeah, and that's what I thought was, again, this ties into the whole duality of personal life and you know, and professional life. And in the instance, the part where he is reading the book at the diner and then he meets his like then to later be girlfriend, you know, he's super sketched out by her because it's like he just doesn't.
The fuck do you want?
Yeah, like obviously she wants to talk to you. Like she that's clearly what it is, you dumbass. But like because of his career, he has to be a little more on edge when someone's asking him why he's reading a book about metals.
Right. Oh, man. Yeah, no, there's so many scenes like that where it's just like clearly this guy, both of these guys are just like, they're so detached from things, from life, you know?
Well, especially with Al Pacino's character.
And his wife, or his, because it's his like new wife, right? Because Natalie Portman's not his kid.
Yeah.
It's like from a different marriage. But, yeah, no, like the scenes where like, you know, he's coming home late.
And she just sucks so much. Yeah. The Al Pacino's wife, she's so like, oh my God. Like, you know what you're getting into if you marry someone who has. That's the thing is, I sympathized with him obviously a lot more than I did with De Niro.
Yeah.
Because like, I felt bad for the girl that De Niro was involved with. Because she was trying, you know, she went out on a limb to talk to him and like, you know, sort of make the first move to like communicate to him.
Right.
And he's being an asshole to her. And then on top of that, she puts up with like his kind of crass demeanor. And then in the end, it's like, well, maybe I should have had better instincts.
Yeah, De Niro takes he makes the wrong decision.
Yeah,
he should have went to where was he trying to go, Fiji, or something like that.
I don't know.
But no, he had to go and kill Waingro.
Yeah,
spoilers would have it. But
well, I think we're pretty much going to be talking spoilers.
Yeah, no, this is a 20-something-year-old movie. 3-year-old movie? Jesus.
95. Man,
oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot in this. And I was shocked, just thinking back on it now, a lot more set pieces in it than I remembered. And by that, I mean, like, I forgot about, like, you remember, like, what was it? The drive-in shooting? Like, there's an exchange at an abandoned drive-in movie theater.
Sort of. I mean, it's a long movie, man.
Right. Like, I forgot about that, and, like, I forgot about other scenes, like the stakeout gone wrong.
That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite. That's the subtlety. That's Michael Mann. Michael Mann shining through. Because yes, you can always kind of just let things lazily devolve into a large action shootout, and I like that. But it's like I like a little variety. I like some, you know. You don't always want things to be exactly the same.
Right.
I love that scene where it's like, especially, you know, my favorite lines were when he was saying the stuff about like, no, we got it. We can't nail him now. It'll just be for trespassing. It'll be out in 6 months. It won't matter. It's
right.
Like, he's anticipating because he knows that this guy wants the bigger score. He's anticipating that score and he wants to nail him then. And I thought that's such an interesting concept. You know, it's like bureaucracy at its finest in a weird way.
It is super. Their relationship is another thing that's like, in a way, it's the cornerstone of the movie. And they're not on screen all too often. I mean, they're only on screen in the diner scene and then at the very, very end.
Yeah.
And it's that relationship is like, especially at the end, you learn it's like they're adversarial, of course, as it's laid out in the diner. It's like, you know, but they also have immense respect for each other. And that, like, they realize that they're each other's match. They're like, you're the best enemy I could have encountered in my endeavors as this archetypical figure. Whether I'm a cop or a thief, we're each other's match. So it's like they have this respect for each other.
Right.
So, like, in the end, like, you know, as he's, like, comforting De Niro as he's dying, it's like, oh, man. It's like, it's a weird bromance, but you know what? I'll take it.
Again, it's like crazy how alike Den of Thieves is.
Yeah.
Spoilers, the ending
Similar?
almost shot for shot the exact same like thing kind of happens.
I do like Heat. So if you make a movie that's basically Heat, I'm probably going to like it.
It's not as good.
Den of Thieves isn't as good?
No, nowhere close. It's like, well, the dialogue is pretty terrible in some scenes.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've heard people say the dialogue in Heat is like, it's super like coarse. You know, people, it's like always, it's like get to the point dialogue. It's not very romantic.
Who cares? But that's the way these characters are. And it's shown
some of the best lines in the fucking movie.
Yeah, like the line, but you do not get to watch my fucking television set.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That shit cracked me up because I'm just like, that's such a Pacino line.
He kicks the TV out of the car.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I have very little wrong with this. I mean, it's long. That's my big issue.
I have no problem with it being long.
It's not even, it's one of those movies where like you don't realize like it's a problem ever, really. I mean, it's not a problem. Like you don't realize the length until the movie's over and you're like, holy shit, it's dark out. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? But that's not really a problem because then you cut the length, the story doesn't feel as epic as it is. No,
and I think part of that's because there's so many characters and they all, to your point, it feels, like a, what were you saying? It feels real almost.
Yeah, it feels like a real like crime underworld story,
Yes, the universe.
Yeah, the universe. Cinematic.
Yeah, the cinematic universe, as that is now becoming the
MCU, the cinematic universe.
In vogue phrase.
Yeah.
Well, no, but seriously, take Infinity War as another example. If you have that many characters and you really feel so strongly that they're part of the action, then of course you're going to have a 2-part movie. And in some ways, like you and I think we thought that maybe the first part should have been longer.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, in certain ways, it could have definitely benefited from being longer. Mm-hmm. And because there's all the guys like Wayne Grove, you got Willem Fichtner's character.
Mm-hmm. You got Dennis Haysbert.
Like,
you take out that element of the story, it's like you lose a whole important element
about
the
fucking driver.
Yeah, you lost the driver, and like you lose like thematically, it's like you lose like the harsh truth of this world, which is like everybody is fucking expendable. Like it doesn't matter.
Not only that, his arc is so heartbreaking.
It's so fucking sad.
Oh, it's the worst.
With his girlfriend.
Well, yeah, it's like he's trying to do right.
Yeah, he's ex-con.
And it's just like, of course he has to work in a shitty kitchen. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, even though you want to smack your boss, you can't.
You can't.
Because, especially he can't. Mm-hmm. Because he's on parole.
Right.
So it's like, even if he felt like he was justified, or even if some people could say he's justified, he's definitely being watched more. He's on thin ice.
Right.
So then when he does finally quit, you're like, no.
I know what's going to happen. And he doesn't even get a Boromir moment. Like, he just fucking eats shit. Like, he gets shot to shit. It's really sad.
That's it. So I guess
and his girlfriend finds out on TV that he gets killed. It's like, oh, fuck.
So now we'll talk about the best scene of the movie, the shootout.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
The one that took place in they literally shot it in L.A., downtown-ass L.A.
It's, there's not a lot of ways to describe it. It's like, there's an extra intensity to it
because it kind of happens what's the word? It's not prompted. Like you feel like it's going to happen, but the way it's staged cinematically, you're like, oh shit, the shootout's happening.
It just kind of erupts.
Right.
And it's kind of like ordered chaos because it's you can tell like the police involved. They're like, okay, stick to my training, but they're also like, fuck, where am I taking cover? Like like they're still, you can feel it in the air that like. This is not their usual routine.
This wasn't the plan.
Right. And it's also all of those plot points, all of the Hank Azarias and the Wayne Groves and all these little characters. It all leads to this. Mm-hmm. All roads lead to this moment.
Right.
So that's something I really admired about that. And that's something I think that Tarantino does really well.
The culmination.
The culmination of action. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, as much as I love my shoot-'em-ups, like Commando, it's like they spend very little time. They're like, all right, here's John Matrix. Shit's going to go down, and trust me, it's going to be a fun time. Ladies and gents, you're not going to You're not going to regret watching this. But in a movie like this, where the world is a little more grounded, you have to have culmination to make the action scenes have more meaning and impact.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's well, there's other stuff too where you're like, I never knew, like, every time I go in, I always forget about the Natalie Portman shit and, like, how that pays off, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You're like, Jesus, and that's important, too, because you're like, fuck, maybe the home life is important, you know, and, like, maybe we do got to reassess shit, and it acts as, like, that him and his wife come back together, and they're like, what do we do now? He's like, I'm going to stay for a bit.
You know what the thing is, though? The mom is such a shitty parent because she also could have helped prevent that.
Oh, God, it's so sad because she's like,
know?
what does she say? Like, I gotta get the barrettes because Dad likes my barrettes, the whatever barrettes. It's just like,
you can tell. It's amazing how small of a character moment that is, and it's like, oh wow, that makes sense. But you notice the little things.
No, it's so depressing.
like you notice that what's his name? I mean, this isn't a small thing because he kills a bunch of dudes at the beginning, but you notice that Wayne Grove, like, there's something extra wrong with him.
Yeah.
And then when he double crosses them, you're like, well,
obviously.
Such is like the nature of shitty people.
He joins the ranks of William Fichtner and Henry Rollins.
Yeah, Henry Rollins just sitting there in silence.
Fucking Al Pacino throws him through a sliding glass door.
It's so great.
The only thing I've ever wanted to see Henry Rollins do is get thrown through a sliding glass door by Al Pacino.
Why not?
Yeah.
But that was one of my favorite scenes, honestly, is when he's rushing out of the hospital. Like, I'm going to do this. By the way, I'm also going to take care of business.
Yeah. I'm going to do both. Fuck it.
That's what I mean. He's just like, one fell swoop.
Yeah.
I loved the way he's just like, fuck it. He's just so intense. He's so focused.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, that there's just certain defining traits that are different about a Michael Mann shootout or a Michael Mann action sequence.
Well, that's the thing, is there's no music either.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
like,
that helps a lot.
It's like, God, this feels like there's an actual fucking event happening, and it's just like a retelling of it, you know?
Right.
Oh, man, yeah, it's good shit, man. I'm glad you saw it.
Yeah, I am too, but, man, what the fuck was I going to say?
There's a lot to talk about.
That last scene. Let's talk about the last scene.
Oh, on the tarmac?
Yeah, then we'll wrap this up, and we'll move on to our next short review.
This scene, of course, pays off the famous line, which is like, Al Pacino says, like, the next time I see you, I have to fucking kill you. I just want to let you know that. And, like, De Niro says something to the effect of, like, yeah, okay, well, let's see what happens. And, of course.
But that's the classic, it's the House of Mirrors and Enter the Dragon.
Right.
It's the fight on the cargo drop in... Air Force One.
Right.
It's not just like, oh, we're just going to shoot each other in some, like street.
Right.
Which I'm not trying to knock the shootout. It's awesome, but it's like, we're going to make this as cinematic as possible. It's the final showdown.
Right.
The planes flying and then the
lights flashing.
It's those huge the guiding lights.
Yeah.
So then he weights it, he times it because it's like, he has to treat this like he's hunting, or it's like a sport,
Right.
It's not just a job anymore.
This is like, it's
a competition.
Job. Yeah.
It's a competition at that point.
Oh man.
And when he finally takes that final shot, and I love it how he sees the shadow. Yeah. That's what tips him off. It's like, shit, turns around, takes him out. That's the artistry of a good final showdown.
I mean,
I will say, if I have one tiny complaint, though,
they pull a bullet
because the shootout was so fucking good and so intense. And again, it was the perfect example of ordered chaos, where you're like, I love the way they'd like kind of find cover,
right,
and then they'd just be like, no, I'm just gonna stand out here and shoot.
Yeah, and then like Tom Sizemore grabs the hostage. Hostage, and you're like, oh fuck.
But then he just shoots him. He's like, I'm not playing around. Just straight up shoots him. Waste no time.
So
like,
badass.
Which it's like, I love those moments because you're like, what if something went wrong? It's like, but it didn't. There's like moments like that happen all the time in real life, but it didn't.
Right.
But it could have, but it didn't.
Took a risk.
Right. That's what I mean. It's like a situation like that. It's like it's already escalated so much further than they ever would have expected.
Right. Correct.
That's what made that scene what it is. It's like you said, it's the unexpectedness of how it escalates.
And it's super even more unexpected because you're like, holy shit, there's like 40 minutes of movie left.
Right. Exactly.
So I get what you mean in that it's like...
I almost wish you hadn't told me about that scene.
Oh, the shootout?
Like, that would have blown my mind.
It's legendary.
Right.
It's a good scene. And some would say that Michael Mann hasn't made as good of a movie since. I would say Collateral's close. Like, Collateral's pretty fucking good.
Collateral is pretty close.
But,
so,
yeah, this is pretty goddamn good.
What would you score it?
Oh, I mean, I throw a dime down on this. This is like one of my dad's favorite movies. It's a good dad movie.
Yeah.
And like my dad showed it to me like a while ago, and I was like, yeah, no, I'll agree with you here. This is pretty fucking good.
All right. Despite it pulling a bullet, because the ending is also excellent in its own different way, I'll also give it a 5 out of 5.
Oh, wow.
So that's a perfect 15 out of 15, ladies and gentlemen. And hold for applause. 3, 2, 1. Anyway, so now on to our next From the Vault review. In continuing our James Bond series review, we've done From Russia with Love. And basically what we're doing is we're going through the ones we haven't seen from start to finish or don't really remember. So next on that list, of course, was Thunderball.
Yes.
So, again, because of Bondathons, I'm pretty sure I'd seen some parts of it.
Yeah, some of this is familiar.
Yeah, but a lot of it wasn't, and I was kind of surprised. So I'd watched this, really, it was like watching it mostly for the first time.
Okay.
Because the Bondathons, they tend to play Dr. No and Goldfinger more than the other Connery ones. Mm-hmm. So let's get right to it with Thunderball.
Yes. What's this movie about, Alex? I'm just kidding. I'll go ahead. So this is about there's 2 atomic bombs that are stolen by Spectre. Okay, and they start holding the movie. They hold the United States and the world to ransom, and of course MI6. So Bond is on the case. He's trying to find out who Inspector is possibly involved in this kind of nefarious plot, and it takes him to the Bahamas, back to the setting for Dr. No, no less.
Was it both Bahamas?
I think so. I'm pretty sure Dr. No
it's somewhere in the Caribbean, right?
Yeah, I know Dr. No was like, maybe, I thought it was like Nassau. I don't know. Either way, he finds Emilio Largo there. He's a card-playing, eye-patch-wearing Spectre number 2, as, Austin Powers.
Okay, I want to point that out. The one thing that really struck me about this movie especially is that this one, it inspired Austin Powers directly in so many ways.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's so many things that are directly parodied from this particular movie.
Oh, yeah. We're going to hold the world ransom for $100 million. Basically that. The chair. The number 2. Number 2. The cat.
Yeah.
Just Blofeld. I mean, there's so much, especially in Spectre and the way it's portrayed. But, yeah. Well, where do you want to begin?
Do you want to talk about the best scene of the movie, man?
Oh, man. We're jumping there? Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, so if you guys heard our review, From Russia with Love has one of the most ridiculous scenes in all of the Bond movies, and that's, of course, the gypsy campfire fight between the 2 gypsy women.
We thought it was the most ridiculous scene in Bond history.
I thought so, but somehow it doesn't even hold a candle to the scene in this movie where, so Bond starts off, this is after he's killed the dude at the beginning, right?
Yeah, he kills a Spectre agent who's incognito.
Oh, no, yeah. So then once he's sent to Bahamas, or Nassau, or where the fuck is it?
Bahamas.
Okay, so once he's sent to the Bahamas, he goes to this health spa at his hotel. Mm-hmm. Now he gets on this stretching rack. I didn't even know what the fuck this thing was.
Like a spinal traction dealio.
I'm fairly certain it'd be outdated if you were to use it now.
Right.
anyway, so he gets on this machine, and it ties. What are you? You're tied into the.
Like you're tied into the straps, and you're like it's
like
basically
you can't move your arms or legs, and you can't get loose of them unless someone unties you, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're basically bound. So some guy comes in, and this machine, like, fuck, I don't know. How do you describe this? It's like hard to describe without the...
Well, first of all, I'm sure this clip is on YouTube. So if you're having trouble visualizing this, you gotta see it for yourself.
Just search James Bond Thunderball stretching rack.
Yeah, stretching rack scene, and basically what it does is I'd imagine what it's supposed to do is like pull you.
Like pull and like
compress you.
Yeah,
like I imagine that. I don't know if it's still kosher anymore.
So it makes it. It's like it makes you like.
It looks like you're being pushed forward. Like it looks like someone's pushing you on the back. Like if you're lying down.
Yeah.
You see, some of you might be ahead of us. You might know where we're going with this. But it looks pretty ridiculous.
So one of the spy bad guys comes up and puts it at full speed, and it's like. Again, the music, like way too intense for what's going on.
Sean Connery's accent drops for one. I don't know why. It just like goes away. He's like, "Hey, what the hell?" He's like actually sounds genuinely concerned. He's like, "No, please, don't do that."
Maybe they didn't tell him when they were filming it.
Oh fuck!
I mean, people do shit like that. Like, have you ever seen The Wall? The Pink Floyd movie.
Oh, yeah.
So you know the part where he freaks out in the hotel and like starts smashing things when the two girls are there with him?
Right.
They didn't tell the two girls he was going to do that. So like they got kind of a genuine reaction.
Oh, man. Maybe they did.
Maybe it was one of those situations, but this is so goofy, and it's like the music is all suspenseful. It's like the music is like, this is serious. And I'm like...
And it's in fast motion. The first instance of fast motion we see, or one of them.
Yeah, fast motion. Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, oh my God.
It basically looks like if you put Three Stooges music over this, it would make sense. It almost feels weirder with the serious music.
Oh, man.
It's just like, that's your big comeuppance. I know how we'll kill Mr. Bond. We'll make the stretching machine go extra fast. His back will be so stretched, he'll be 2 feet longer.
You know what music they should have played instead of the serious music? The bum 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 bum, where it's like bum 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 bum.
Oh yeah. the fucking like he's arrived music.
And Bond's killing the bad guys, but with humor.
With humor and ease.
Yeah, like maybe he's on an elephant, like in Octopussy or whatever.
My God.
I think there's a scene where he's on an elephant in that. I don't know.
That was... Oh, it was too much.
It's worth... Oh, man. Just look it up.
So we probably spent about 7.5 minutes talking about... Okay, let's get to the rest of the movie. So, despite how weird that is... I thought it was so hilarious. Like I can't even dock points because I'm like, I guess you could, kill him doing that. It's just like it is. That would be like most hilarious and horrible way for a character to die in a movie,
especially let alone James Bond.
Like I feel like that would be in a horror comedy. Like that's how someone would die.
Like Final Destination 17.
Yeah, or whatever they're on.
Yeah.
So
like when they ran out of ideas.
So overall, though, good stuff. I mean, that was a bit weird.
It's a pretty good balance of fun and intriguing, I guess.
Yes, that's one thing I noticed is like where the previous chapter which was Rush with Love? Was that 2?
Rush with Love was 3, I believe. Yeah, I think it goes Dr. No. And then, actually, no. I think you're right. Wait, you said it was 4 or 2?
Okay,
it's 2.
What is the order?
Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, then this.
Okay, so where From Russia with Love went wrong to me is it tried too hard to lean on the intrigue, except it almost did away with that too because of the romantic subplot, which really just doesn't work.
Oh man,
Bond is a sanctioned killer. Like that's not on his Like legitimate romantic relationships are not supposed to be on his agenda.
Right.
And if they are, it's supposed to be in a way where it's like he has to fight the fact that like
he's falling in love with this lady or
yeah, and it's like
or whatever.
No, damn it, pull yourself together.
Right.
But in that, it felt more like it was like charade or something. You seriously could have just put fucking Cary Grant in there. There's this fella in the train trying to kill me. It just so this did a really good job of like being what Bond movies are best at is the intrigue and the spy moments and how that leads up to the action.
Yeah, and I would say, speaking of the action,
Well, in a different way than Heat. Where
Yes.
Heat's about detective work. This is about spying and espionage and
Right.
the art of trading secrets and and lying and such.
I was a big fan.
The work of spies.
Right. I was a big fan of the action in this, I'd say.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, the final battle is great, but what an unsung action scene that I really like is the ones, I don't know if you call it an action scene, but the scene where
Sharks,
where
Okay.
he climbs into Emilio Largo's base and like gets trapped. Like he's sneaking through and like trying to be all stealthy and like he gets trapped under the pool. He's got to find a way out. I'm like, this is a good scene because like they never see Bond, but they know it's him, but like they don't know it's him for sure. So like Largo's kind of like, I know it's him, but they never meet face to face. So it's like he still gets away unscathed and without being seen.
Yeah,
it's just a cool idea for a scene. I don't know. I loved it.
I like that. And was Thunderball. There's all that interplay about like I want to meet you for lunch, right? Yeah. See, I liked that, and I thought that the Bond girl character.
Oh well, which you mean Domino?
The one that was like on his side, but
she was dating Largo. But
and she didn't realize what a shitbag he was. Yeah, see,
she had more to her than the previous. Well, then we're gonna compare from Russia with Love, but she had so much more to her than the woman from Russia with. I don't even remember her name. The woman from Russia with Love, she's horribly underdeveloped. Domino's given so much more to do in this.
That's what I liked. Also, is they made her sort of a victim of circumstances.
Right. Exactly.
A victim of circumstances.
Right.
to borrow a phrase of Curly's.
Right.
Or a Mr. Jerome.
Jerome Howard.
Jerome Horwitz.
Yeah.
If you want to get really technical, Jerome Gorvitz.
Yeah.
If we want to get real technical. Anyway, that's a Stooges lesson for you.
But
anywho.
Even the other quote-unquote Bond girl who is Fiona Volpe? Her Emilio Largo's assassin.
The one who looks way too much like Domino.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I again, I did like the interplay. She's like, shit, I feel like I gotta help this Bond guy now. It felt dynamic and natural.
Right.
But what were you gonna say about Miss Volpe?
Well, she was another a femme fatale, if you will, but still, she had a lot more going for her as well.
I also like the way in which she finally gets it.
Oh yeah, at the
dance floor.
Yeah, at the club or whatever.
Because she's trying to fucking do something to him, like poison him or something, right?
Something like that, yeah. And I thought it was really interesting the way that they just like they were playing the music and like they had the music going it was like Shawshank, like they had the music going the same time in the the gunshot.
Boom. Yeah, playing the bongos or whatever.
Right. That's good shit, man. There's
really
a lot of stuff.
There's sharks, okay?
There were sharks.
I love it. I mean, you know me, I'm a sucker for sharks.
Right.
And then, of course, we have the underwater scene.
Oh, man. The whole final act.
The whole final act is incredible. And, again, that's how you make a great final scene. How the hell many people, especially at that time, I thought, what a pain in the ass that must have been to film.
Right.
Like, there's no way they were on location for that scene. That had to be in tanks.
In a tank?
Yeah.
Well, to describe it, it is literally an underwater battle.
Like a harpoon gun fight.
Like a harpoon gun fight between Spectre agents and, like, the Coast Guard, right?
Yeah, and some knife / underwater fisticuffs.
Yeah, and it's like, it's literally what you expect. Like, they like show up in ranks and they like charge each other and start shooting each other and just chaos ensues.
I loved every second of that. And I couldn't help but think, perhaps this is a preview of what's to come in Aquaman. Did that thought not kind of cross your mind? It's like, so you can do a whole scene underwater.
Right. And not, it's like, oh man, this was before we even had the technology to make shit look like it was underwater.
CGI, before we could make things look like they're underwater, and like before like you had superhero fantasy shit.
Could you imagine trying to like look at this scene as a producer and just be like, ah, fuck, this whole scene's underwater? It's like, you sure we can't just write this out, make it on a beach? You know, make it in midair? Well, you can do midair.
It's like, well, okay, I've got an idea. What if we had the shootout scene on Emilio Largo's like tennis court or something?
What if it was like in a pool? What if it was half underwater? What if it was like a creative Marco Polo match?
What if it was in the shallow end of the pool?
Right. Like, no. It's going to be on a reef.
Yeah.
There's going to be sharks.
It's going to be underwater. What the hell are those things called? The
jet
little
things.
Little gliders?
Yeah. The pull you through the water. Jet engine dealios.
I loved every second of that.
Oh, man. It's funny. In a good way. Again, funny, but also
well, it's
good
funny
action.
just because it's like so novel. It doesn't seem like it could really practically work.
Yeah, you're like, I don't think I've ever seen this before.
You're like, I mean, how the hell else are they going to fight?
Right.
And I kind of like how it's like they really have nowhere to go but forward because of like with swimming, you're taking out like agility and like ducking for cover. It's just like you just have to charge at each other and attack.
Right, exactly.
Like the way you're going to defend yourself underwater is just it's going to be different.
Yeah, man. But anyway.
So it was a much improved release over the last Bond we saw.
Yeah, no, I thought this one had more going for it. There was more at stake, and more importantly, it was just paced better. You know, there's an entire second act in From Russia with Love where I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's just like, move this along, please.
And for me, while the first act like was a little slow, it picked up really by the stretching rack scene, really.
Yeah, honestly, but it's like, you know what? That got my attention. And from there, you got Domino, Volpe, Emilio Largo. You've got all the...
Sharks.
Yeah, sharks. You've got, like... We can actually remember the characters, which is far more than I can say for the sake of From Russia with Love.
All I remember is the blonde assassin guy in the fight.
And it's like, even in Dr. No, it's like, I remember him, Ursula Andress...
and Dr. No.
And Dr. No, that's pretty much it. Yeah. But this had so many major players. And I really like that in spy movies when it's like, now remember, you have to get like, it's like, I like the idea of like, you have to go through the gauntlet. Yeah. So it's like, remember, there's this guy. And then there's like the explosives expert. And that's so-and-so, his top bodyguard.
Right.
You know? I like it when you kind of go down the line of the usual suspects that he's going to have to be involved with.
We also get some Felix Leiter in this one.
Yeah, get some Felix.
Yeah, I mean, the plucky American fucking, what's his name? CIA agent, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff. So what would you score this?
I know it sounds like I was going to give it a lot higher than I was going to give it, but it's a really, really solid time. But I still give movies like Goldfinger and Dr. No a bit more of an edge. I'd probably give it like a 7.5.
How dare you?
I know, but that's loads better than From Russia with Love. I think I gave that a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave From Russia with Love I don't know. I think I gave it either a 5 or no, sorry, on my scale, either a 2 or 2.5. Mm-hmm. Not great. I would, you know what? I don't give a shit if I've been given too many perfect scores out. I fucking love Thunderball.
Someone's generous.
I hardly think so. It's a 5 out of 5.
Nah.
I like the way all the characters play
I feel you.
within the world. The action was good. The climax was like, what more could you have asked for?
Right.
You got the specters, like all that cool shit. I don't understand how this isn't a perfect Bond film.
I can get behind you there. I mean, it's definitely amongst the better ones I have seen in terms of in terms of Sean Connery. It's better than From Russia with Love.
It's better than Russia.
Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah, well, I don't really count that one. Because wasn't that one he came back for later?
Yes. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so out of the 4 that I've seen so far, Goldfinger's obviously the best.
Yeah.
I'd say Goldfinger, Thunderball, Dr. No.
Whoa, in order? You'd like Dr. No less than Thunderball?
Actually, I'd have to watch Dr. No again.
I was a big Dr. No fan.
You know, I'll say I'm tied with Dr. No and Thunderball. I think they're about as good as each other in hindsight.
You know what you should see?
I would say, obviously, Rush with Love's the weakest so
you
far.
You gotta see Never Say Never Again.
Which the hell one is that?
That's the one where where Connery came back to play Bond.
Oh, it was from 83, right?
83.
Yeah.
It's directed by Irving Kershner, who directed Empire Strikes Back, and it's based on the same novel it's based on Thunderball. So it's essentially a remake of Thunderball.
That's weird.
I know. So fucking weird.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 5 plus 7.5.
That's a 12.5 out of 15.
12.5 out of 15.
That's good.
Yeah, so there you go. So that does it for all of our news, reviews, and From the Vault reviews. Thank you again for listening to episode 24 of Bonus Features with Alex and Robert. Make sure to find us on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud to keep up to date and to listen to all our podcasts. Thank you again for listening.